Hello children. So previously we have discussed about the Newton first law of motion. So according to Newton first law of motion, it is when an external unbalanced force is applied on it, the object which is in rest position which changes its position. That means its velocity changes. If its velocity has been changed, then there comes an acceleration. So that like that we can define that. So that is force, acceleration, and also the velocity, all are related to each other. So based on these concepts, we have known about the momentum, isn't it? So momentum, here also momentum picture will come. So momentum is nothing but it is the product of mass into velocity. So momentum is P is equal to M into V, are able to define it, isn't it? So for that another one example I'll give so that we can derive the Newton's second law of motion. So what is that example means? For example, a dead battery vehicle, that means battery of that vehicle has been dead, so it is standing on the straight road. Now you want to start that. If you start it for few seconds, that means some few seconds, if you have pushed that vehicle means, then the engine will start it. Okay, it is dead it is. So if you give some pressure to that, so that it will start it. So now if two persons push that, if the two-person push that vehicle means, it won't start at a second, isn't it? Whenever you start pushing that dead battery vehicle, it won't start at a when a two-person, whether he is strong or anything, when the two-person pushes that vehicle at a time, it does not start it, but it takes some time. That means continuously, if you are pushing for example some seconds, some time, if you taken that vehicle to start it, then only that vehicle will start. So what I can conclude with that example means, the momentum, that is the momentum does not only depend upon the force. That means here in the example, unbalanced force, what two fellows are applying, it does not depend only on the force, but also it depends on the time interval, isn't it? So it takes some time, that means some continuous push of that object takes some time to change its position, that means to change its motion. So that you can say it as not only momentum depends not only on the force but also on the time. So based on this, we will derive a Newton's second law of motion. So second law states that, so rate of change of momentum means, that is, it depends upon t, that means mv divided by t. So rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied unbalanced force in the direction of force. Okay, in the direction of force. So this is what the Newton's second law of motion will says. So rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied unbalanced force in the direction of force. That means rate of change of momentum, I can say it as mv divided by t, is directly proportional to the unbalanced force. F, directly proportional to unbalanced force in the direction of force. So in which direction the force is applied, that will depends upon that, as well as applied force depends upon the rate of change of momentum. That means mass will be there, velocity will be there. So then, and also at the time interval it takes place. Now in the next we will derive this, the second law of motion, we will derive it. So first, derivation of second law of motion. To derive that, let us consider an object with some mass m, and initial velocity of that object will be u, I'll take. Final velocity of that object is v, and time taken to change its velocity from initial to final position, I'll take it as t. And to change that initial velocity to final velocity, force applied is, I'll take it as F. Based on all these contents, we will derive the Newton's second law of motion. So if the object is having the initial velocity u and final velocity v, means momentum will change, isn't it? So momentum initially, what is the momentum? Mass will be same, isn't it? The object mass, when it is in initially, it will be same, and finally also the mass won't change. So initial momentum, I can define it as m into u. It is the initial momentum. Final momentum, final p, I can define it as m into v, isn't it? So I can say it as p1 is equal to m into u, and p2 is the final momentum is equal to m into v. So now I'll define this. So we know what is the second law will say, that is change in momentum. First I'll take change in momentum is directly proportional to force. Here the force is P2 and P1, isn't it? So I'll write it as change in force, that is P2 minus P1. So P2 means what? So P2 is nothing but m into v minus m into u. So it is m, I'll take outside, so it becomes v minus u. Now this change in momentum, I'll take it as rate of change of momentum. So rate of change means it is depending upon the time. So rate of change is directly proportional to m into v minus u divided by t will comes. So now when we apply the force, then if it comes for the force, so then F is directly proportional to m v minus u divided by t. Okay, so now I'll remove this proportionality constant. If you remove the proportionality, then you have to write one constant there. So F is equal to k into k is the constant, proportionality constant, v minus u divided by t. So now if you see this derivation, this v minus u divided by t, I can change this into, so I can write F is equal to k into ma, isn't it? So we know what is that? Acceleration is equal to v minus u divided by t. So I have substituted that here. So F is equal to k into ma is there. So if k is constant, if the k value is 1, then I can derive the force formula as F is equal to m into a, isn't it? So force is equal to mass into acceleration. That is the derivation of Newton's second law of motion. So if the rate of change of, so another one definition for the Newton's second law of motion states rate of change of momentum of an object is directly proportional to the applied unbalanced force in the direction of the force. So and also the derivation is F is equal to m into a. You know what is the unit of force? So unit of force is Newton, or I can say it as kg. So I can write force as equal to mass into acceleration is there. So mass is in terms of kg, I can define. Acceleration I can define as meter per second square. So force I can unit is either it is kg meter per second square, or I can write force as the Newton also. Okay, so that is so and also you know what is the force. It is a vector quantity because it directly proportional to acceleration, means acceleration is a vector quantity. So if acceleration is a vector quantity, then force is directly proportional to mass as well as acceleration. So both are in a vector quantity itself. Okay.